Hi guys and girls, welcome back to another episode of Does What It Says, and on this episode we will be turning one of these WLtoys into a monster truck. So I'm going to use a 284161, which is what you can see in the picture there at the moment, the blue one, and I'm going to put the green mini infraction body onto it. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do all that in this video. And you'll be needing 2 packs of the magnetic body clips and obviously one of the mini infraction bodies, which you can buy online. Little bit of snippety whippety, so get some scissors out and you're going to have to snip the bodywork, all the wheel arches and bits and pieces out, which is no worries. I'm not going to put that in here, but you can see what I've done. That's the old bodywork which I reused from something else. I think it was from a BMW video. I replaced the body of a BMW onto one of these infraction chassis. Now I've got one of these bodies left as a basher, and basically going to turn it into a monster truck, and this is what it's going to look like. As you can see, it looks awesome, but obviously we need to take all them bits and pieces off so we can get that on. So without further ado, let's start ripping this down and I'll show you exactly how to do it. It's quite easy. So what you do is you start, obviously, take the pin out, and you lift the body up, and there's a pin coming through. It's a screw pin. So what you want to do, it's not that side, it's on the other side, just in there. So that screw which is in there, take that out, and that should drop off the body. Just like that. A couple of clips for the lights. Just pull them out. Be careful, because you're not going to get rid of this body. You can just save it, because you can put it all back together if you want. So once you've done that, there's 2 screws you need to undo, which basically hold the body mount on. So them 2 screws there, take both those 2 screws out. And a bit of plastic which holds the body on. Should just drop off quite easily. It's a very quick video, this one. Well, it's about 8 to 10 minutes long. I think it is anyway. Yeah, so basically you just get rid of that bit of plastic, stick it in a bag, or stick all these bits and pieces what you take off in a bag. And then there's 2 more screws. So these 2 that you can see here just underneath this wheelie bar, undo them 2 screws, take both of them out, and then the wheelie bar should just drop off. That's the bit with the spare wheel on. So undo that, drop that wheelie bar off. It really is not a lot to do in this. As long as you've got the magnetic body clips with all the screws and bits and pieces that come with it. You get one on Amazon for around 10 quid. I got 2 packs to do this. Unless you've got loads of spares. If you've got spares, then what you do need is 4 of the really tiny, I think they're like 2mm nuts. So you just get 4 of those nuts spare, because that's what you need out of one of those bags, or what you would need extra, just to do what I'm doing. So what I'm showing you here is at the end of this video is I found out that if you put the original screws back in them 2 holes where we just took them out of, they hit the differential. So what you need to do is get some of these small washers which are in the bags, included in the bags of the magnetic body clips, and you get 3 of those small washers on each of those 2 screws which you put back in, and it stops the screws going too far into the differential housing. So if I just zoom in a bit so you can see, because it is a bit small. So I can do a bit of zoomy. There you go, 3 small washers on them screws, and you put them screws back in. Differentials there, running nice and smooth, not catching anything inside, just exactly how you want it. does go really well. This, once you've done this, it looks really, really awesome. So ignore the magnetic clips on the top, because that's what we are going to do. What I'm just showing you at the moment is there's them 2 screws in there with the 3 washers on each screw, as you can see. So that's how you need to put them screws back in. So next, you get your magnetic body clip bag, open it up, basically pull all the bits and pieces out, and inside there you've got loads of nuts, you've got long screws, short screws, you've got like little brass connectors. And basically what you want to do is what I'm showing you there. So you've got a magnet on the top with a washer and a nut on the longest black screw in that bag. So there should be 4 of those long screws. So you basically get a small one of the magnets, and there's a flat side to one, and there's a countersunk side to one of these ones. So obviously it's the ones with the holes in. So you stick that screw through the countersunk side. Here in the small bag of bits, you've got some little black washers. So stick one of the washers behind the magnet, and you get one of the small nuts, and you basically wind it up the screw. Just like this. So a small nut, stick it on, wind it up. And once you've got all that all the way up, it needs to be tight. Yeah, so the way to get that tight is small pair of pliers. Grip the nut and then get a small screwdriver. Then get a small screwdriver, little Phillips screwdriver, and do that up pretty tight. Perfect. Now you want to get another one of these small nuts, and you want to wind it on probably about 7 or 8 mil up that shaft. Doesn't really matter. You don't have to measure it because you're going to put it on the car, and you just don't want the screw sticking through the nut, which you'll get what I just said in a minute. So wind up a little bit, about 7 mil, and you basically stick it through the hole, and you stick another nut on the bottom of it. So that's what I was saying, is you don't want the screw sticking through this nut. You want it to sit flush. So stick that on there, hold it, and just turn the screw, and that should easily start winding in. Easy peasy. So the reason I've said about not putting these screws all the way through is basically to keep them all the same, because when you put the front bumper on, if the screw sticks through past the face of that nut, it will basically hit part of the bumper. So hold the bottom, wind it in, tighten the top nut back down on top of it. And how I done that was I held the bottom nut with my thumb and turn the top one with the pliers. So this is the way I done the rears. When I do the front ones, I use a screwdriver, and I done it a slightly different way. It seemed a little bit quicker, a little bit easier, but this one does get it extremely tight, which is what you want. So that is what it should look like. You should have the 2 screws underneath, not shown here, but they should have 3 washers underneath each one of them, and the body mounts should look something like that. And they go in there nice and tight, pretty solid. If you want to put a bit of Loctite on them at a later date, you can do. I won't, because I want to keep it so I can undo it all and pull it all back to original if I want to. But anyway, what you need to do is next is on the front of it, you need to undo these 2 screws and them 2 screws, and basically you need to drop off that front bumper. That's just to get a bit of access, because you need to get to the bottom of the body mount, which we're going to put in. You can't do it with the front bumper in position. So undo these screws, loosen off the other 2 at the back of the differential, which is these 2. Loosen them off a little bit more than that actually. And then that front bumper should just wiggle out. Once you've got that out, we want to do exactly the same thing. You want to stick them body mounts in, which we've made up. And the way we're going to do this one, as I was saying earlier, is going to use a screwdriver. So I'm just going to hold the nut on the bottom and tighten it up with the screwdriver, and it actually does it pretty well. Tightens up nice and tight. So that's easy to do. Get the other one done. Get that one in there. Exactly the same way. Put your finger on the bottom of the nut, screw that up till it goes nice and tight. Perfect. And just tighten up. Make sure it's nice and tight. There we go. Solid. Double check the other one. Well, that is what you should be looking like right now. You should have the front body mounts in, and you want to get that front bumper back in. Just basically slot it back in, do these 2 screws up, get the other 2 screws in the front done, get them screwed back in. Now, if anyone could spot the mistake, I left out 2 screws from the underside. So put all them 4 screws into the differential housing from the underside of the car, put them all back in, and then do the 2 screws in the front, which I've just done up. And that's where we should be at. So what we're going to do again is, to the rear, I'm going to get the diffuser from the 248-131, and I'm going to install that on here. So to the rear of the car, completely take these screws out, and there's a small sliver of plastic between the chassis and the differential housing. And you want to pull that little bit of plastic out. You can just seal it in there, just a little sliver of plastic. So you just want to get that out. And then once that's out, you've got the little slot there for the diffuser to go in. So stick the diffuser in, and then put all of those screws back in. And then you're not far off where you really want to be, guys. It really is that easy to do. I've just never ever seen anyone do it. I've never seen anyone put one of these bodies on the 161 chassis, and it looks really cool. It looks like a nice little monster truck. Goes really well as well. So if you look to the left hand side by the front wheels, that's the position. The opposite's where I just put these screws in. That's where I missed them bloody screws at. I've done them now, but just on the video, them screws on the left hand side to the front of the car, I missed them out like a plonker. Anyway, that's most of the prep done. To be completely honest, it's it is almost there. It's extremely easy to mount this body because I'm going to do it a completely different way. I'm going to use the magnets which come in the bag, basically to raise the body to the correct height that you would want it to sit at. So you just get a magnet and just stick it on. How easy is that? 2 at the front, 2 at the rear. So you raise it 1 magnet, so that's the whole body raised 1 magnet, and then stick the body on, see if it fits. No, it's going to touch the wheels. So stick another magnet on every one of them. Now I'm trying to make this as easy as possible for people to do, just by using the magnets to raise the body up a little bit. I've got 3 extra magnets on the front, so I've got 4 in total, and I've got 3 on the back, so I've got 2 extra ones on the back, as you can see there. And then when you stick the body on, it sits on it perfect. Now the most simple way, guys, to do this, instead of hot glue gunning it, magnets. How simple can it be? Literally drop some magnets on it and it holds it in place good enough for you to be zooming around your front room, probably zooming around outside as well. It holds it pretty well. I'll show you. I'll just grab the bodywork and give it a bit of a shake, and you will see that it does actually hold it pretty good. See, it's not falling off, nothing. Drop it, fine. And that's just been held on with the magnets, guys. So you can, if you wanted to, use those magnets as a guide of where you want to stick the magnets on the inside, and basically hot glue gun some magnets on the inside if you don't want them on show. I kind of like it though. I am going to be honest with you, I really do like it. I don't mind the magnets on show. It's a little bit different, and it's very easy to get the bodywork off. Just drop the magnets off and the body just lifts up. But more to the point is, if you haven't got a hot glue gun, you can do it with the magnetic clips. So it's no problem, is it? So that body is magnetically clipped on. It looks awesome. Just as a comparison, that is it sitting next to a 131, which is my 131 I've already upgraded with quite a few bits. Just as a size comparison next to each other. There's the K989 with some drift wheels on it. I mean, the thing looks huge, doesn't it? Oh, I love it. It's great, man. Check it out. Another little tip for you: if you're going to do this, guys, I've got on my one, on the monster truck here, I've got the upgraded suspension, so it's the adjustable suspension, and I've changed the springs in them. And if you do this mod, it will give your springs a little bit more travel, which is good for a monster truck because that's what you want, as much travel as possible. Check out my channel. There's a video on there showing you exactly how to do the adjustable suspension mod. If you liked this video and you like the channel, don't forget, like and subscribe, and stay tuned, and I'll see you on the next one.